Hello, Mark Crossfield here with Golf Online 360 Showtime every Monday night 7 p.m. and today we're talking impact. So many golfers don't read impact into their results. I see lots of people getting confused with their results, subject to not really quite understanding the impact can have on their golf shots. Let's get stuck in. So we've got some questions coming from Twitter and Facebook reference impact. Thanks for sending for today's 360 show. And it's an interesting one, this one for me, because it's something that when I teach with students, it's kind of 99.9% of everything we talk about. I start at impact really and work back for all students. It's something that students rarely, and more so now I think as I kind of push it online, and I've been talking about it for quite a few years, but they rarely start there. They start more on backswing or takeaway or transitions, those kind of things, club path, where you've got to be starting at impact for you guys to really understand how your shots are performing. To give you an example of how important impact is, I could hit 0 club path with a 0 face to path with a 0 angle of attack, middle strike, and there's a good chance I'm going to get, if the lie is in the right place of the club, a straight shot. I can apply all the same numbers but move the strike a few millimeters towards the toe. You're going to get gear effect kicking in, which will spin that ball. It might start a bit further right and gear back to the left. And also if I move that strike a little bit more towards the heel, I'm going to get the other gear effect happening where it starts slightly left, curving off to the right, subject to what club I use. So if I use a driver, which lots of people would be referencing their ball shots too, as soon as you pull the center of gravity off the club face, so back from the face, you're going to have a twisting around that center of gravity, which is behind but you're hitting the ball with, which is going to turn the club, move the club in a slight way to make that ball have a little bit of spin axis tilt on it, draw or fade from those missed strikes. Where you could be playing, in your mind, the perfect swing, 0, 0, 0 numbers on everything. Strike is absolutely key for you guys and girls hitting straight shots. And I don't see enough of you practicing it. I'd like to see more of you practicing strike. Great way of practicing strike is marking up the face, bit of tape. You can use foot spray. I use a launch monitor GC2 HMT which sees strikes. So go and sort out someone for a lesson with someone who uses that piece of kit, who can monitor your strike in amongst all the numbers that you normally deliver. So we're going to go into some questions, because the questions really kind of show the understanding of impact for me or not, which I love. So we're going to go start first. Adam on Twitter says, why does it matter after impact? Hashtag facts, hashtag logic, hashtag 360 show, hashtag AskAGG. And he's linked a PGA Tour article talking about where the club face is after impact. So it's an interesting question from Adam. Where the face is after impact can obviously influence where it is before and during, subject say to rate of closures or rate of release, how far that club is tumbling and turning and twisting as you start your downswing. And to be honest with you, sometimes I have worked with students in a way where I've asked them to think about a finished or halfway through to finished position with angle to club face, to try and change the way they improve their delivery or change the way they actually deliver the club to the ball. So in defense of the article, yes, it can have an effect. The thing I find tricky with articles like that, which I think Adam is stating, is that certain twists and speeds of twists are happening at very different times for very different players, so you're not going to see a consistent position on the way through from one player to the next. Certainly if you take PGA Tour players, all hitting very different positions and twists in the club face at different positions in their backswing, downswing, follow throughs, making it work around their impact, which again is the main point. It always comes back to that impact. So I understand what you're saying there. So you can read into that article what you wish, but I also see how you might find that misleading as well. So another question here from Twitter. What are some drills, exercises that help reduce secondary axis tilt at impact? And he's actually included a picture as well. of how much tilt he's put in there, because I didn't quite sure what he meant by secondary axis tilt when he first posted it. I understand as soon as he posted the picture, he's talking about that kind of leaning back with his body as he strikes the ball. Because if you think about when I'm hitting a golf shot, I'm rotating, I'm side bending, which is what I would call it, as well as bending forwards, because it's a three-dimensional world. Now, in his swing, I don't see, certainly with a driver, a massive issue with the amount of tilt that he's got in there. But if you wanted to change a body position like that, which would improve impact, let's say that body position encourages him to hit too far up at the ball, or even a little bit too far left with his club path, because he's hanging back and the club starts moving left at that point. I don't know if it does, just pretend it does, and you wanted to change that position. I would challenge you to hit some different shots rather than get you to focus on body position so much. I would always start with a more result-based driven idea. So I would ask you to hit some drivers that go out maybe at head height, really, really low. Really feel like you're stinging them out as low as possible. For you to lean back that way while trying to hit it really, really low probably wouldn't make sense to a more coordinated golfer that you look like you are. So often with students, you'll change the position of a body through an idea of how they want or they imagine a ball should fly. So if they're going to hit it lower, often they would move differently with their body. Then in turn measure impact, numbers and strike, to make sure all the kind of dots are joining up, if you like. And that's the beauty, I think, with all the lessons that I do for myself. I want to quantify why I've asked you to do something. So that feeling feels weird, not leaning back so much, where you feel like you might be leaning forwards more, because that keeps the ball lower. But if you look at your numbers, it's good flight, it's good spin, it's a bit straighter, those kind of things. So you can quantify from impact, as long as it's measured, why you're telling a player to make a certain move. Great question here from Matthew. Why is my impact generally towards the toe? Where I deliver the club lie, question mark, hashtag AskGolfGuru. Great question, a common one, people getting their strikes in a certain group on the face, so a certain pattern of strikes, if you like. Often with one that's, say, towards the toe or heel consistently, it is, for me, not being able to manage lie of the club. So if you imagine this is the leading edge of the club, they're often delivering very toe down. Now if you think about that, let's pretend this is the end of my club, this pencil here, and this is the top of my club. As soon as I change this angle, what happens is the distance from left to right foreshortens. So if I stand that pencil up, obviously the difference from left and right is nothing. They're on top of each other, and if I lay it down flat here, it's the full length of the pencil. So you have a lie at the club at the start, X angle, let's say 45 degrees, and then when you hit the ball, let's say the handle's raising a lot, that's going to be pulling the club head, the other end, in towards you, unless you, which lots of people do, thrust your hips forward, push your hands up really high to get that club to line back up, line the CG up with the ball. So it's that confusion, as you're hinting in the question, in that changing of the dynamic lie that makes it harder for you to strike the ball. Best way for you to practice that, maybe hit some shots with lower handle delivery, feeling like you're really getting the handle very low through impact, feeling like you're hitting balls with the toe up, the club toe ended up a lot. Or the other thing is practice trying to hit some out of the heel. Obviously without seeing you, that could be very dangerous, because you might be lifting the handle up and early extending, so pushing your body up towards the ball. So getting you to hit out the heel is just going to encourage that a bit more. The main thing for you, I would say, is go and get a lesson with someone who's measuring your strike, to see if any of those two suggestions that I've talked about there help you or not, and use their suggestions as well to see if they can help you or not. Often it's a lie issue when it comes to consistent strike issues. There we go, thanks for watching. 360 show every Mondays. Post comments down below. As always, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. If you're liking the videos, hit that subscribe button. And hopefully you've got some information there about strike that will help you maybe go out there and practice with a little bit more of a wider kind of outlook on golf. It's interesting when you talk about strike with students or on a video, because lots of people, there's a group of people who think, oh, but there's not enough information there, I want to know what position I need to hit to do that. That's kind of missing the point of the skill of strike. See if you can get out there, like I say, from the different lies, and if you can't do that on the range, challenge yourself, maybe hit some with a ball on a really high tee, maybe stand off the mat with the ball on the mat, change that lie around, 1 foot off the mat, 1 foot on. How much does that affect your strike? If it's affecting your strike, then you're a classic person who will ask the comment, why can I play well on the range but not on the course? Well, practicing on that perfectly flat, sterile environment every day isn't helping you practice the skill that you really need to hit better shots, which is to learn how to strike the ball somewhere in a repeated spot on the face.